There's Trevor and his friend Brian.
Brian, this is my jacket. All right?
Let's have a look at the name inside the name.
There's Trevor's wife, Carol.
I know how you feel. It would be a wrench for any man to be separated from me for more than 3 minutes.
And there's Trevor and Carol's son, Og.
I bring great news, almighty Og.
Put them all together and you've got a kind of living coming up next. Meet politically aware Rick.
Hello, are you the Tsar? Yes, I am actually. Blam, blam! Ah, tough black fascist.
Hippie refugee Neil.
I've got 6 pairs of hands. I'm Krishna.
Lounge lizard Mike.
I'm looking for my prince.
Come over there upstairs with my etchings, my darling. Please, this way.
And the always polite Viv.
Do you know any good jokes? It's for charity, you know.
Yeah, here's a good one.
They're crude, they're rude, and they're roommates. They're the young ones, tonight at 10. Arkwright finds he must battle for the affection of Nurse Gladys when an old boyfriend appears on the scene.
You're just jealous. Of course I'm jealous. I've got a right to be jealous. Men don't like other men walking around with their knees bare and rat-tat-tatting on their fiancés' knockers. We'll go and see if there's a big flash car outside Nurse Gladys.
Open all hours, tonight at 10:30.
Hi, I'm Susan Laurie Parks, and this is a verse monologue from my play Imperceptible Mutabilities in the Third Kingdom. I saw my first pictures of Africa on TV, Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom, the 30-minute filler between Walt Disney's Wonderful World and the CBS Evening News. It was a wonderful world. Marlin Perkins and Jim and their African guides. I was a junior guide and had a life-size poster of Dr. Perkins sitting on a white Land Rover surrounded by wild things. It had me an 8x10 glossy of them too, sign on my nightstand. Got my nightstand from Sears because I had to have Marlin by my bed at night. Together we learned to differentiate African from Indian elephants, the importance of hyenas in the wild, funny-looking trees on the slant. How do they stand up? Black folks with no clothes. Marlin loved and respected all the wild things. His guides took his English and turned it into the local lingo so that he could converse with the natives. Marlin even petted a rhino once. He tagged the animals and put them into zoos for their own protection. He encouraged us to be kind to animals through his shining example. Once there was a me named Verona. I got Mommy and Dad to get me a black dog, and I named it. I named it Namib after the African sands and swore to be nice to it. Only Namib refused to be trained and crapped in corners of our basement and got up on the sofa when we went out. And Namib wouldn't listen to me like Marlin's helpers listened to him. And Namib wouldn't look at me when I talked to him. And when I said something like sit, he wouldn't. And come made him go. And when I would tie him up in the front yard so that he would bite the postman when the postman came like a good dog would, he wouldn't even bark, just smile and wag his tail. So I would kick Namib when no one was looking, because I was sure, I was very, very sure that Namib told lies about me behind my back. And Namib chewed through his rope one day and bit me and run off. I have this job. I work at a veterinarian hospital. I'm a euthanasia specialist. Someone brought a stray dog in one day, and I entered black dog in the black book and let her scream and whine and wag her tail and talk about me behind my back. Then I offered her the humane alternative. Wiped her out. I stayed late that night so that I could cut her open because I just had to see. I just had to see the heart of such a disagreeable domesticated thing. But no, nothing different. Everything in its place. Do you know what that means? everything in its place. That's all.
Funding for Poetry Spots was made possible by grants from the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, and the continuing support of the WNYC Foundation. For a free copy of this or any of the poems featured in this series, please send a stamped, self-addressed envelope to Poetry Spots, WNYC TV, 1 Center Street, New York, New York, 10007.
Take one old-fashioned gentleman's ready-to-wear department manager, mix liberally with ladies' separates and underwear, and you've got the recipe for trouble and laugh, as the inmates at Grace Brothers Department Store nearly turn it into an asylum.
I look upon it as a battle. Customer is the enemy. We deploy our forces, lift doors open, customer steps out, and what happens?
We open up the machine guns and bang, bang, he's dead.
Are you being served? Coming up next.
I was never good at holding up walls, at floundering in the street, allowing enough time to pass in order to notice the composition of the garbage. No, I was never an expert at walking up and down the same city block, inventing new ways to twist my hips, new ways to plant my feet on the ground without bending my ankles, spraining them. Holding up walls was never really my thing. Learning to mesmerize myself by street traffic going by, letting time take its toll on the ordering of my face. No, I was never any good at enduring the act of nothing all day long, of speaking to zombies whose abilities of articulation depended on new car styles and the latest get-down sounds of flying duration. No, never any good at comprehending the skill it takes to do nothing with your life. The skill it takes to unconsciously plot your own demise before time. The skill it takes to read the pavement. The skill it takes to deal smoothly under a cop's nostrils. The skill it takes to get up every morning and look forward to not a thing. No, I can't say I was ever good at holding up walls. Never any good.
Funding for Poetry Spots was made possible by grants from the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, and the continuing support of the WNYC Foundation. For a free copy of this or any of the poems featured in this series, please send a stamped, self-addressed envelope to Poetry Spots, WNYC TV, 1 Center Street, New York, New York, 10007.
On Sunday Cinema, William Powell stars as debonair detective Philo Vance in this compelling murder mystery.
The bullet didn't kill him, and yet he's dead. Suppose we try to find out just what did kill him. Glad you thought of that, Mr. Vance. Not a bad idea.
The Kennel Murder Case, tomorrow at 8 p.m. on Sunday Cinema. Tune in next time for a first exposure triple feature. First, in Only the Dead Know Brooklyn, two lonely souls meet by chance on an elevated subway platform. Then, in Deliver Me, a lonely woman leads a rich yet secluded fantasy life until she sees the postman in a different light. Followed by The Call, an avant-garde look at an aging actor's final audition. For a first look at New York's brightest filmmakers, watch First Exposure, Monday at 9 p.m.